Welcome to the Feed Dive. Today, we're diving into one of Reddit's most infamous communities. Am I the a-hole? In this video, we explore some of the wildest stories where people ask if they're in the wrong. From family drama to friendship fallout, you'll hear it all and get to judge for yourself. Who's the real a-hole here? ATA for putting a lock on my bedroom door in the apartment I share with my husband and his family member? Sorry, it's long. My husband and I live with his sibling, G, in an apartment that's paid for by his family. G frequently brings friends over, and one of them, L, is a frequent guest who practically lives with us at this point. I tend to avoid the common areas because I get anxious and uncomfortable around so many people, but I don't really mind keeping to myself. I have a vanity room where I keep my clothes and jewelry, and I installed a small camera there for peace of mind, as no one locks the apartment door, day or night, and I wanted to protect my valuables. Later, I decided to put a lock on the vanity room door as an extra security measure. Recently, while my husband and I weren't home, G allowed their friend L to enter our personal space without permission, supposedly to charge a device. This was especially unsettling because my husband and I have private, personal items in our bedroom, and it felt like a serious invasion of our privacy. I feel that G was also at fault here for allowing a frequent guest to enter such a personal space, especially since it's our private room as a couple. After that incident, my husband and I decided to put a lock on our bedroom door for additional privacy. I even explained to Elle beforehand that it was for privacy and safety, given the constant traffic in our apartment. Everything seemed fine until G texted my husband, angrily accusing us of being paranoid and saying locks and cameras aren't necessary because they were raised with trust as a family. Since then, G has been distant, and I've been avoiding G and L, as I feel like they're both upset with me. I tried to reconcile with G, but they were dismissive and rude, leaving me feeling like I was back in school dealing with bullies. It's especially hurtful because I had opened up to both G and L about some personal struggles, thinking they would understand why I'd want some extra privacy. Now, I feel like I'm an outsider in my own home. So, Reddit, ATA for putting a lock on my bedroom door and wanting more privacy? ATA for refusing to feed my sister's kids for free every day? My older sister, 37F, has 3 kids under 10. I, 25M, don't have kids yet, but I'm a junior sous chef and I cook a lot in my spare time. During some recent time off from work, my sister asked if I could babysit her kids after school for 3 days. I said yes. I watched the kids. She paid me for it, and I thought that would be it. But then she asked me what the kids ate with me after the week had ended, and then she wanted to know how I got her kids to eat a full meal. Her kids are picky eaters. They are typically the kids who will eat what they like off a plate: meat and potatoes, rice or noodles, and then leave the rest. Veggies, sauces. According to my sister and Bill, even if you give more veggies than something else, they won't eat them, and they'll wait until their next meal. And if you give all veggies or insist they eat the veggies before anything else, they'll skip the meal. I sort of knew that about them before I babysat. So I blended veggies and other good stuff into their dinner the first day with me, and the second day I served them. But I did them but hid them in plain sight. And on the last day, I just served them in a way they don't get them normally. And because they knew they had them, they ate them without an issue. But they wouldn't eat them for my sister or Bael after. There was some back and forth between us, and I shared some recipes, but my sister said she couldn't get them to eat the food. So she wanted me to make food for her kids every day. I asked if she was going to pay me for spending all that time and money, and she told me I should do it as a way to help my nieces and nephews stay healthy. I told her it's a big ask. She told me I have the chance to really help and put my skills to good use for family. I feel like it's asking a lot because they expect me to make something every day for the kids. But my sister feels like I'm being a bad brother and uncle. Ada? AIT for sharing my opinion with my brother and warning him about his wife unprompted? My brother, 36M, and his wife Emma, 35F, have known each other for the best part of 2 decades. They were in the same friend group toward the end of high school and lost touch after graduation for a while, but ended up reconnecting when the larger friend group reconnected. Then Emma moved away and they lost touch again. In that time, my brother got married and had his kids, 11 males and 9 females. Emma moved back about 5 years ago and started spending more time with the old friend group, my brother included, though they didn't seem to get closer until after the death of one of their shared friends. My brother's marriage to the mother of his children was never super great. It only got worse when the kids were no longer babies, however, and they separated 4 years ago. Their divorce was finalized a little over 2 years later. Before the divorce was finalized, my brother and Emma started dating. They broke up briefly and got back together, but Emma's attitude toward the kids' mom was incredibly negative around the time of the breakup and remained the same after they got back together. Emma and my brother got engaged fast, and then my brother's ex, the kids' mom, died. The kids weren't happy about living with Emma, and less so about Emma trying to step into a motherly role for them. They know how she felt about their mom, and with her gone, the loyalty pull was stronger and the dislike for Emma more intense. My brother and Emma's wedding day was a shit show, and the kids protested the whole way through, which my brother was aware of. But he said they'd been okay with Emma before, as in, before he dated her. So they were just protesting him being with anyone who wasn't their mom. Emma is jealous of the kids' mom. She's jealous the kids still love her. She still hates their mom for reasons I don't know. The kids know she hates their mom, and they use it to taunt her. They tell her almost every day, if Emma is to be believed, that she'll never be as good as their mom, and they will never love her or accept her because she isn't good enough. They compare Emma's cooking to their mom's. They compare the way she decorates. Stuff like that. I know they do it. But I also know Emma has kicked up a fuss about the kids keeping their mom's things and having them in their bedrooms, as well as having photographs of her. Which, if you ask me anything, is likely the reason the kids are so quick to compare the way they do. The household is toxic. Emma's jealousy of their mom grows, and the kids' dislike for Emma grows. My brother acts like things are fine, and he's burying his head about the growing issues. I decided not to ignore it and address this with my brother. I told him Emma and the kids are not getting along, and her jealousy is going to make his home even more of a living hell than it already is. And I told him I did not think Emma could come back from her jealousy and warned him that she could cost him the kids. He told me he didn't ask for my opinion and to mind my own business. Aida?
Ahole for agreeing that my daughter can block her mom's text messages. Our daughter, 15F, has respectful friends, excels at school, and plays for the region's top U15's nationals volleyball team. My wife, 47F, is a stay-at-home mom with many side hustles. But she says she has tears in her eyes when doing things for our daughter. Their relationship is unusually volatile, especially over boundary setting, like asking her mom not to post pictures of her on Facebook without consent and wanting to see her doctor alone. My wife disregards these, using her position as mom to override our daughter's wishes. 2 weekends ago, a day after coming back from a family emergency in Europe, I watched another tense exchange. Our daughter gave cautious responses as her mom pressed for many details about the previous night's football game, using her typical fault-finding tone. "Who did you leave early with?" This was unnecessary since our daughter had kept us both updated via iMessage. I reminded our daughter about respect and engagement. Then I mentioned to my wife that it was still clear that she hadn't considered changing her tone with our daughter, despite many people making that suggestion. Immediate escalation. Within 14 minutes, my wife accused me of causing our family's dysfunction, and our daughter faced accusations of always being tired and sick, and never waking up on time. Our daughter wanted acknowledgement of her mom's past actions, but my wife denied everything. I suggested forgive and forget, which caused my wife to become deranged, then pack her bags, grab the dog, and walked out on us, saying she needed space and wouldn't be back. She hasn't returned. 4 days later, minutes before a must-win game, her mom texted to wish our daughter good luck and said she wished she could be there. This frustrated our daughter, who told her mom to stop texting before postseason games, and her walking out was affecting her headspace, and it was her decision to go away. Shortly after, my wife replied with, "If I'm in your head, that's on you. I am not responsible to manage your emotions. I am responsible for my well-being. Staying under the continuous negative barrage that you and your dad keep trying to pin on my shoulders will no longer be tolerated. I will continue to be your mom and wish the best for you. It's up to you to learn how to manage your own stress. You said that you couldn't sleep with me in the house, so I left to reduce perceived stress that I was the source of. You are reaping the consequences of your own request. Disrespecting me will not fix your issues." Our daughter was very upset after getting this from her mom. She felt this was sent to blame and justify her actions. She was worried more blaming texts would be sent, and asked if she could block her mom. I thought about it for a day and agreed. I know this won't help with any reconciliations with my wife. Am I the asshole for helping to break contact between a mother and her child and for supporting my daughter over my wife?
Subscribe for your front row seat to the world of Reddit.